This. Hi, Nina. Nice to see you.
Hey Shannon, it's been ages.
It has been. It has been. I'm so glad we can connect on here again, though. It's nice to see
Yeah, no, it's good to see you too.
you. So I just wanted to ask you a few things about Creatrix. You're also a transformologist as well. So why did you get introduced to Creatrix in the first place?
So I it had popped up on my feed probably for the last 7 years, here and there, and I sort of reached out, and I think it was Donna Brennan actually I reached out to, and just, what's this all about? This looks interesting, rah rah rah. And then we sort of exchanged chats and things like that. Then I had a really bad work experience. And it's actually interesting how timing happens. Donna actually reached out to me on the day that it was actually happening, and she said, "How you going with it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I can't do anything. It's like, this is all going down, and my whole life's falling apart." And she said, "Okay, we're not ready to actually do this, but just be mindful of what's going on and all the rest of it." So I reached back out about, oh, Christmas, about this time last year, I think it was. And I reached out to her again, and she said, "How's it all going?" Because, we just touched base every now and then through Facebook chats and things. And I said, "Well, I'm actually in a much better place. I'm working again. I've got everything together, and um, really think I need a session." And then we got talking about other things. And then she thought, well, talked about the opportunity and everything else. And then I said, just as the discussion sort of unfolded, we were like, I saw more value in being in the opportunity to empower other women, because I've always tried to do that wherever I've been, whether it's been a job, whether I've been on the healing table, or I've always tried to empower women. And this looked like the tool to actually do that in the most effective and time effective way as well. Um, so she put me in touch with Helen. I had a session with Helen, and then it was like, yep, this is it. This is it. So I signed up in February this year, and then it's sort of like, did all my training, and then we had the conference in the Sunshine Coast in May, and it's just sort of progressed from there. And here we are 12 months later, and qualified transformologist, and still learning so much. It's just amazing, and the impact it's had on my life. I was once one of those way over emotional, totally reactive people that if something didn't go my way, I was like the Tassie devil. I'd be spinning and vibrating, and you know, just everybody copped everything. It was like I just sucked everybody into this vortex of emotional outbursts, basically. Um, I actually don't do that anymore, which is really nice and relaxing. to be able to go, do you know what? I really don't need to be totally affected by that at the moment, and to be able to go, do you know what? That's really pissing me off, and not have to be in this, spiral of out of control, overwhelm, and anger and everything else that gets sucked into that cyclonic environment. And it's like, so I'm a lot more calm, a lot more peaceful. I can actually set and keep boundaries now, which has been nice, because every time I drew a line in the sand, I'd sort of just kick sand over it every now and then, and just allow things to seep back into my world that I, really didn't need. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's interesting to see how it actually rubs off on other people, husband especially. I haven't actually had to, I guess, be as strong with him. You know what I mean? I've just been able to go, well, you know what, that actually really pisses me off doing that. Um, Whereas usually it's like I'd have to go rah for him to actually stop doing whatever it was that was annoying the hell out of me. I can now just go, do you know what, that's really annoying. Can you please stop? Um, and yeah, so it's just calmed the farm basically, and it's such a nice place to be. Yeah, we still needle each other every now and then, but it's not that. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not that. Um, that really must to annoy type thing. It's just light-hearted fun now. So yeah, it's taken the edge off it basically.
Yeah, excellent.
And after 16 years of marriage, which we chalked up yesterday, it's like, yeah, okay, we can look back at it and go, yeah, we've cried, we've had our arguments, yes, we could have left, we could have done this, we could have done that, but we're still here and it's still an adventure, and we're still growing, and it's just another day, and that's also probably the biggest thing I've walked away with is it's just being in the moment. Um, and not worried about what's going to happen in 3 hours or what's going to happen in 3 weeks or what's going to happen in 3 years. It's about being in that moment. What's happened 2 minutes ago, 2 hours ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago, doesn't matter anymore. Can't change that. It's like just being in this moment has probably been the biggest thing that I've had. And being able to just concentrate on one thing at a time and not have that, I work in lists, and I have a list in my head of everything that needs to be done every day, and it's like it became overwhelming. Now it's like just get done what needs to be done, and if it doesn't get done, well, it's there tomorrow.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
important is it? On my scale of 1 to 10, how important is this? Does it matter if I don't do this today? No. So yeah, that's been so good to be just in that calmness, because
Mm.
I've never really been in that calm space ever. Mm.
It sounds like you've had some pretty big changes in such a short space of time.
It's look, I've I've done a lot of modalities. I've done a lot of training. I've done a lot of professional and personal development, all those things, and I've never had the outcomes that I've had from this. Um, and to have lasted this long, they last maybe 4 or 5 weeks, but I started this in February. I'm still growing and still having to not experience those come back. And that's probably been the biggest thing, is to not have them come back. I've had situations where my technology's crashed, and just prior to sessions and things like that. And once upon a time, I would have been looking at throwing the computer out the door and just going, "Oh, it's all too hard." And it's like, yeah, hang on a minute, I'll just tweak this and see if that works, and 15 minutes it's all solved, and it's like, yeah, okay, all right, we'll just brush that off, that's fine. So to sit back and look at to what I was and how I used to react, and that's what it was all reaction. There was no response at all. And I see reaction as coming from a place of out of control, whereas response comes from a place of control and peace and centeredness.
Mm.
For me, anyway, the best thing, it's like just throw it at me, see what happens. And I've been able to just go, yep, okay, well, I can control that outcome, so I can deal with that. That's a little bit out of my scope, and I'm able to hand it off if it's out of my scope. So, yeah, whereas once upon a time, I would have, just been totally out of control. Yeah.
Wow. So
It's
just
huge.
that calm, peaceful place to respond now.
Yep, yep. Yeah, my son's going through a hard time at the moment, and he gets on the phone, and I'm actually able to sit and listen and just hold space for him while he unfolds his stuff. Whereas once upon a time I would have shut down, you know, or go into the blame and guilt, of, oh my God, as a mum, what have I done wrong? What tools didn't I give him so he could do this, and all the rest of it. I haven't had any of that. I've just been able to sit and hold space for him and let him unpack it himself, and it's been great. Yep.
That's fantastic. So
Mm.
yeah, so it's changing your lives and the people around you as well, because you're showing up differently, so it enables them to show up differently.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, which is lovely.
Absolutely. So if you had some words to say to ladies that are considering doing Creatrix, what would you say to them?
Ask yourself, do you want to be always reacting in the way you're reacting, or do you want to find a new way of living and experiencing life? Because that's, to me, do you want to exist or do you want to experience? Do you want to react or do you want to respond? How peaceful do you want your life? What sort of outcome would you prefer to live in? Do you want to live in a cyclone of angst and anger and overwhelm and all of that frustration and thing? Or do you want to actually just live in this tranquil peace and just be able to just go through every day, just knowing that, doesn't matter what life throws at you, you're going to deal with it, and that's been the biggest experience for me. It's the peace and the tranquility that's brought to my life. Yeah, things still bother me, things still get under my skin, but once upon a time, those things would last for days or weeks. It's minutes. It's like, why is this under my skin? I can't control it, and just throw it off to the keeper and just let it go through. It's like just that moment of acknowledgement that this is pissing me off, and then it's gone. And that's just it's worth millions in my book. It's absolutely worth millions because I'm uncovering a new me. It's like I haven't known life without a tumultuous sort of experience for any situation. It's always been over the top. So to actually have that peace in my life is actually a whole new experience. So yeah, I'm rediscovering myself, which is really, yeah, it's been really intriguing, Yeah, looking at my life and going, well, now I can change it because now I can actually do things that interest me, not other people. It's like I can actually sit with myself and go, what would I like to do? How would I like to move forward? And that sort of thing, instead of living somebody else's dream or working towards somebody else's goal, it's now more personally focused on me. So yeah, and
Excellent.
hubby's there, as well. But it's like, well, hang on, what would I like to do?
Yep. Yep. Fantastic. So so the peace and tranquility is available to anybody that seeks it.
Absolutely, yeah. And if you come from a background like me, where it's your whole life has not been that, to actually have that now is huge. Yeah.
Okay, ladies. So here you go. You've just heard another interview with another lady that has got amazing results from doing this process. All you need to do is reach out to us. There's
Yep.
many of us here that are willing to help. We want to help. So please just reach out. Like this is available to you too. You just have to be courageous enough to take the first step. And all that is reaching out to one of us. We
Yeah.
can help. But
And
first, you
that's
need to want to help yourself.
absolutely, and that's the biggest step is how much is enough, and
Mhm.
do you want to change? Yeah.
Yep,
And
yep,
have you had enough? Yeah.
yep. Have you had enough?
Have you had enough? Yeah. And if you
Thank
have,
you.
we're here. No worries,
Thank
Shannon.
you, Nina.
Great to catch up.